Imperium Chapter 10 A Cold Night. As the pages of time turned, a few years passed. After the successful and failed hunting, I came back to Paris, alacritus tiptoeing down a dark alley somewhere in the city of Paris. I heard, "Remember that glyph, the one you found that was not me, but I know what it was. I would not say who, because it was no who that could do such an act, but I know what. I am sent as sword and mind. With my secondary sword belt loop now was a sword that called in my mind a name, Mordecai. I cannot see my creation that sent this telepathic message. An unseen being then speaks. I smell you, now as one of us, and do not know how that could be. I saw you in the choir as you played, and I knew that I would watch you until you could be one of us. It has already happened, and though I cannot be your sire, I will be your mentor. Then a shadow walked beside me, as my own shadow. Then abruptly it was not, gritting my teeth. What if I want no mentor? I spit on your offer. I will make you wish you said yes, then make you say yes. Unknowns to me, the being was standing behind me. Why didn't I perceive it? In the time that it took to think the thought, a sword was puncturing my side. I am starting to bleed out. My naturally occurring vampiric regeneration was trying to heal me. The regeneration was not healing the sword within. I reconfigure my shoulder and grab the man behind me. I try reconfiguring its flesh strangely. The flesh does not bend or rend, nor the bone beneath. In terror, more fear than I have experienced in the new life, I run. In the shadows I hear a laughter. It's keeping up in the race within the shadows, dashing for my simulacrum's keep, smash crashing into a being that did not shake, even as I struck it with bullet-like speed. After the concussive impact, I found myself unconscious, waking up terrified and staked. I did not know if any of these experiences were real. Yet here, on a slab of onyx, seeing a man now dressed in tight leather, with a black leather's butcher's smock, he pulled out surgeon's implements. You know these. You have used them before. I can't blink, twitch. Then a cutting, the grinding, below the table was smattered and splattered with blood, some of it my own, some of it not. It was glowing. I wanted to fight. I wanted to scream. I wanted to do anything but be trapped. And in that moment I broke a little. This must have been what my prey that I played with so often experienced. In my mind I heard, "Don't worry. You won't die this day, Amadeus. Reconsider my offer." In that moment, screaming in my mind, I broke, waking up maybe a day or a week later. I don't know. Am I healed? Looking at my arm and seeing healed scars there, and my other arm, the same scars all over the concealed parts of my body, trying to bend my flesh. And it does bend, but while it bends, the scars stay. My clothes and swords are on the floor below me. I put them back on, feeling violated and distorted. I did not know what to do. I called to my progenitor in my heart. Then I prayed. In the moment of my prayer, feeling a soothing white light upon me for a moment, seeing stairs before me, walking up them, I was now in an abandoned keep in the forest, smelling for evil and finding some. And I supped to gather my strength, but I was stronger, but still hungry, finding my way to Yorick's. I asked to be left alone, but one of the servants told me there was a tome for me on the writing desk. The tome was dropped off by a young woman yesterday. Sitting at this writing desk, looking closely at the tome's surface, it was ancient, slightly crazing leather that was in far better condition than it should be. The pages a fine vellum that had a fine glossy surface, and the condition of its pages were far too good for its age. The writing on the pages was a fine script that had no spill or slur. The line was fine and precise. The book was warm to the touch for some reason, and there was a slight thrum that might have been imperceptible to someone with ordinary senses. As I sat reading the tome, my imagination ablaze, my mind pulsated, shocked with vivid impressions of symbols and experiences. The cascade of wild spectra was full of figures and places I have never been, and thoughts I've yet to think. Moreover, as I read this tome, and came to indecipherable markings, these scars laid upon my body felt sensation. A music of sorts played through the scars as the symbols were matched. I see a place in cloud and gloom, shrouded, somehow connected to the text. My mind subparted, and in another imagining state, at once I knew this gloomed fortress was real. Then in my mind I felt a momentary presence. Finding myself beleaguered, hungry, and tired, with a lack of the will for the hunt, so I did not. Growing my fingers, I pulled up floorboards beneath Yorick's bed. I then dug in the compacted soil below the boards. Still tired, I stretched the skin between my chest and arm, so that I might move the soil more efficiently, then raced with supernatural speed to place the soil in the garden bed. I then found myself resting before day came to night. And I dreamed, which is something we vampirus immortalis sapiens nocturnus do not do, for our sleep is death until disturbed. Seeing in my mind vivid imageries of fires burning, in these fires cities, peoples, and lands were raised. I have never seen or known before. These memories transcend time. They felt as old as the first humans. These stories contained some of the stories written of within Bibles throughout nations. I was shaken and taken aback from this experience. Immediately I felt the need to leave. At once I took to the message of my heart. Leaving disturbed, I left a message to Yorick to manage my mortal affairs. These feelings driving me to leave in a strange wanderlust, wandering deserts, swamps, and marshes, searching for the keys to the scars in the book. As I moved through these terrains, some scars occasionally sang from a reading or place. Wandering, I grow hungrier even in my craven madness. I could not but drink a drop of blood. What strange madness, sickness to enervate me. Starving and unable to eat. Walking and wandering, I grow tired. Each footstep a brick of lead, heavier than the last. A strange wasting. Every night I dig my grave, for which within that I sleep my death sleep. As I walked and crawled within the strange swamp, with miasma shade of gloom, fog, eerie, I stretched the fingers of death out towards that unfit night, and I was struck by a vision, my brain on fire. Seizures! Thinking for certain, in that moment of rack and reek, I fell weak. I felt perchance the death sleep would consume me again, and I would find myself no more. Instead, in this vision, I see holy rapture, seeing the end, even if it was but the end of me. The end was a shock, awe, fire, and light. It was full spectrum, a somber, slower melody then played on me of this mire. The song sang a place much like this, where the book could be read, and a gloom gate would become, where it was in between worlds, a manifestation, falling in a trance. I did not wake for some time. A tree dying must have fallen on me in my death sleep, for I wake with it covering me, which is maybe why I did not burn in the sun's embrace.